Your finances deserve more than just a quick fix. They deserve a partner in your success. So I want you to imagine this. It's tax season. You're scrambling to find somebody to prepare your taxes. You come across a few names, or maybe you even think about doing it yourself with TurboTax. But the question is, how do you really know that you actually made the best decision for your taxes? So today, I'm going to share with you what a great tax professional actually looks like, the red flags to watch out for, and why choosing the right person matters more than what you actually think. And make sure you stay to the end, because I have a bonus tip that I actually give to you guys as a freebie. So let's hop into the video. So tax professionals, there's a difference between tax professionals and tax preparers. Tax professionals are people who typically are CPAs, EAs, or people who they actually have more education than the person that's just inputting your information into the system and giving you your refund, right? There's a difference between the two. And so you want to make sure that you actually choose the right person. Are you choosing a tax professional, or are you choosing a tax preparer? Which one is it? So here are a few things that you can actually attribute to a great tax professional. So number one, they actually have credentials and expertise. So the best tax professionals don't just prepare taxes, they educate, they strategize, and they protect. So what are some things that you should actually look for when it comes to a tax professional? One, they actually have a P10. A P10 is essentially like your social security number, but for preparing taxes, right? Do they have certifications? Do they have ongoing education? Because as a professional, we're held to a standard where we actually have to go out and get extra education. So being able to know whether your tax preparer or your tax professional is educated in the area where they're trying to help you at matters, because that's just like saying, I'm going to go to the doctor, but the doctor that I'm going to, he's not an actual doctor. Would you feel safe in their hands versus somebody that's actually been to school, someone who actually knows what they're doing? We know that answer, right? So we want to make sure that we actually look for someone who's actually committed to ongoing education and actually stays current with the tax laws. So why does this matter? A qualified professional actually brings more value in understanding complex tax rules and actually maximizing your deductions. So we don't want someone to just prepare our taxes. We want somebody to actually help us maximize and save on taxes, because isn't that the point of getting a professional? All right. Sorry. Number two, they operate professionally and transparently. So professionalism isn't optional. Professionalism is a baseline for trust. It's a requirement. And so a professional uses a professional email address tied to actual business domain. Now, granted, there may be some people or some tax professionals that are under other tax professionals, right? But one thing that I see a lot is taxprofessional@gmail.com. Truly and honestly, for me, if I wasn't a professional, I'd be like, are you actually a professional? Are you actually doing this as a business, or are you doing this as a hobby? Because we want somebody to actually take our taxes seriously. And so we want to make sure that they are actually verifiable as a business. So this means websites or reviews or even social proof from other people. Are people actually talking about this person? Right now, granted, if the tax preparer is just now starting out, no, you're not going to have much of that, or even a website, especially if you're under someone else. But making sure that you do your due diligence on your tax professional. So that means asking the right questions. And later on, I'm going to give you some questions that you can actually ask your tax professional to make sure that you trust them just as much as you need to. And so we want to also make sure that we do this number one important thing. And it goes according to the Circular 230. We want to make sure that your information is safe. So, how do they secure your data? The tax professional should use a secure system for collecting and storing your sensitive data. So this looks like CRM, so SmartWiz or TaxDome or whatever the case may be. How do they actually store and collect your data? Are you going through a portal or is it just sending your documents by email? Right? We want to make sure that your documents are safe throughout the entire process of getting your tax return completed. So a red flag would be relying on unsecure methods like unencrypted emails or text messages for your sensitive data. You're not going to send your social security number to somebody through a text message or through just a regular email. Why? Because people can hack those things. Those things are less secure, right? We want to make sure that our data, especially my data, is secure to where it doesn't go anywhere else besides the person that I sent it to, right? So that moves us on to number 3. A tax professional, they offer year-round value. Now, granted, there are some tax professionals that actually only work during tax season, and that's okay. But a great tax professional isn't just for April. They're for all year round. All year round. So what do you look for a person that actually does this, right? Tax planning strategies that can actually save you money all year round. So instead of just trying to save money during the actual tax season, I want to make sure that I save money throughout the entire year, preparing, being proactive instead of reactive for the next tax season. Bookkeeping services to make sure that your actual finances are organized and compliant so that way you can succeed every tax season. That way you won't even have to stress about tax season because you planned ahead. You was proactive. And the ability to actually represent you in front of the IRS if necessary. Now, granted, every professional may not represent you in front of the IRS. Even some CPAs may not do that. However, if your tax professional offers services like audit protection, they cover that portion of. They may use a third party, a credible third party to actually do that for you, but we want to make sure that you're actually represented and making sure that you're actually covered in case an audit actually happens. Now, a red flag would be a preparer who actually disappears after tax season, you know, a ghost preparer, right? You only hear from them when tax season is about to approach. You don't hear anything else from them during the tax season. That's a red flag. Do they give you value? Are they helping you throughout the year? If not, choose wisely. So we as a great tax professional, we don't just file, we teach, right? I have a mentor in the tax industry, right? All year round, gives value, teaches, helps us elevate, right? And for you, you should look for someone who actually takes the time to actually explain your return, answers all your questions, and shows you that the opportunities to actually save more, right? So that's that tax planning and the tax strategy, and even just answers questions without having to always charge you for it, right? Now, granted, if the tax professional is very busy, yes, there may be a cost attached to that because they work year round, not just during tax season. So a red flag would be a preparer who actually rushes through the process without explaining or educating you on how you got certain deductions, on how you actually save. So that way you can actually be successful in the next tax season. So I told you that I was going to give you a bonus at the end of this, right? The bonus is why TurboTax may not always be your best option. TurboTax can't plan your future, but it can only record your actual past. So TurboTax doesn't do tax planning or tax strategies. They do based on what you actually give them. So you're your own tax preparer. And guess what? As your own tax preparer, you are liable for your tax return. So what does TurboTax actually do well? Because they do certain things well. They do simple returns for individuals with limited deductions or credit. So if you don't have a child, or if you just have a W-2, TurboTax may be the way to go for you, right? But where TurboTax actually miss at is personalized tax strategies to reduce your liabilities, guidance on complex financial solutions like business owners or investors or people who actually want to save, especially if you got kids, right? If you have a side hustle or anything like that, that's where TurboTax actually missed the ball. They're not proactive planners to actually maximize your deductions for the next year, especially with the credits. So a key takeaway is TurboTax is just a tool, not a partner. TurboTax is a tool, not a partner. It doesn't replace the value of a knowledgeable tax professional who actually sees the big picture of your financial life, right? So there's some good with TurboTax, but there are also some things where TurboTax actually misses at, right? So if you're looking for a tax professional who actually embodies all of these attributes, I love to help you, and I love for you to join the 2025 tax interest forum that's linked below. The earlier you can actually secure your spot, the better we can actually prepare for your financial success. So make sure you click the link down below to learn more and actually sign up. So lastly, I told you I was also going to give you some simple questions to ask your tax professionals to be successful during this tax season. The right questions will uncover the best professionals. So number one, what are your credentials and how do you stay updated on tax laws? Pretty simple, right? I want to know, how are you credible and how are you keeping up with all the things that's going on, all the updates, right? Number two, how do you handle sensitive client information to make sure that it's secure? We want to make sure that our documents are safe. Number three, do you offer services beyond tax preparation, like tax planning or bookkeeping or being a financial advisor? Do you offer more services outside of tax preparation? Number four, what's your availability after tax season, just in case I need more support? And number five, can you explain how your process works and what can I expect as a client? Your expectation as a client is key, right? Because you want to know, okay, I'm not just saying I'm gonna give you my documents and I never hear from you until it's completed. There should be emails going out. There should be communication along the way, so that way you can feel confident that your return is actually being processed correctly. Because the better we communicate with you, the better the process actually goes, especially if you have more questions throughout the process. So choosing the right tax professional is choosing peace of mind for your finances and your future. So at the end of the day, your tax professional isn't just preparing your return, they're actually protecting your financial future. When you choose someone who actually has the right credentials, operates with integrity, invests in your success, you're making a decision that pays off far beyond tax season. If you want to work with a tax professional who actually checks all the boxes, make sure you sign up for the tax interest form down below. It's going to be in the description. Don't wait until it's too late, because at the end of the day, people who wait too late are typically the people who procrastinate. But that's exactly what that means, a procrastinator. Are you a procrastinator? I hope not. And so before you go, don't forget to like this video. Make sure that you share it with a friend. Comment down below the biggest takeaway or your questions. I love to hear from you. Anything that you have, any questions or comments that you have, I'll be glad to answer all those for you. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you can always stay. Make sure that you hit that bell so you can always stay updated with every video that we post out, because I'm always giving value. I'm always trying to teach somebody how to be better as the season goes on. So let's make this tax season your best season. And so I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.